For years now, Trump has been bragging about how he aced a dementia test that he took back in 2018. And now, he's been bringing it up every chance he gets. He talked about it with Chris Wallace. He replaced the White House portrait of Abraham Lincoln with a drawing of that elephant. And in an interview with Fox News last night, Trump went into the greatest detail yet on the test that he says proves he's a stable genius.
And it was 30 or 35 questions. The first questions are very easy. The last questions are much more difficult. Like a memory question, it's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV. So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV. Okay, that's very good. If you get it in order, you get extra points. Okay, now he's asking you other questions, and then 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later, they say, remember the first question? Not the first, but the 10th question? Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go person, woman, man, camera, TV. If you get it in order, you get extra points. They said nobody gets it in order. It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy. They say, that's amazing. How did you do that? I do it because I have like a good memory, because I'm cognitively there.
Donald Trump is the only person who can talk about a cognitive test, but make me feel like I have brain damage. He's gone from bragging about his historic electoral college win to boasting that he can solve the puzzle in a Happy Meal. In fact, I almost feel like obsessing over a dementia test that you took 2 years ago is the real dementia test. Also, can we all agree that Trump is just naming things that he sees in front of him, like in that moment? That's what he's doing. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. I mean, anyone can, you're not a genius if you can do that. Anyone can do it. Camera, chair, bookshelf, dead body, TV. Oh, I'm a genius now too. What makes it even stranger that Trump keeps bragging about his score on this test is that the neurologist who created the test told the Washington Post, quote, it's not meant to measure IQ or intellectual skill in any way. If someone performs well, what it means is they can be ruled out for cognitive impairment that comes with diseases like Alzheimer's, strokes, or multiple sclerosis. That's it. So you see, acing this test does not make Trump a genius, it just makes him a guy who's desperate for an accomplishment. Now, one reason Trump keeps bringing up this test is that he thinks it shows that he's more mentally sharp than Joe Biden. But yesterday, Joe Biden said the real issue isn't what's in Trump's brain, it's what's inside his heart.
Joe Biden tonight calling out Mr. Trump as the country's first racist president.
We have racists, and they've existed, they've tried to get elected president. He's the first one that has.
That's what he told a worker who expressed concern that the president blames China for the coronavirus pandemic.
All right. I understand the point Biden was trying to make, but Donald Trump is obviously not the first racist American president. Because Biden calling Trump the first racist president is like calling LeBron the first black NBA player. I mean, he may be the best right now, but there were a lot before him. And don't get me wrong, it was extremely racist when Trump wouldn't let black people live at his properties. But those early presidents wouldn't let black people not live at their properties. In fact, just to summarize some of what we know of American presidents, 12 of them owned slaves, so right off the bat, they're out, right? Woodrow Wilson openly supported the Klan. FDR threw Japanese Americans in internment camps. LBJ routinely used the N-word in private. Nixon used racial slurs against pretty much every race and religion imaginable. Reagan called African leaders monkeys who are uncomfortable wearing shoes. And that's just the shit that we know about. I mean, I don't know who this guy is, but look at those mutton chops. He was probably racist. That's like racist hairstyle. You know the thing when you choose from the list? Which one do you want? I want that one. Racist? Yeah, hell yeah. So look, Biden was clearly wrong about this. In fact, he was so wrong that with our help, Trump has now turned his gaffe into a new attack ad.
Gaffe machine Joe Biden is at it again, claiming that Donald Trump is the first racist president.
He's the first one.
But the truth is, Donald Trump is just one of many racist presidents. In fact, historically speaking, very few presidents weren't racist. And one of them was black. So this November, vote for Donald Trump, the only candidate racist enough to be president.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Person, woman, man, camera, TV.